Look, tell me something, right? I'm getting quite annoyed about this. It's the fact, why don't politicians look further than the nose on their face when it comes to policy? They never seem to ever look at the long term. It's only for the short term money boost. I mean, we all pay taxes, right? We all pay taxes. We pay far too many. And we talk about how we can then tax you further. So what they do is they put in this fear tactic, global warming, and they say, oh yeah, there's too many people now, because they've now stopped calling it global warming and environmental issues and climate change. They're just now starting to say there's too many people. I'm serious. They're now starting to say, oh, there's too many people now. Look at Bill Gates, what he says, Al Gore, he used to call it climate change or environmental revolution. Now they're just saying there's too many people. Who gives them the right to say there's too many people? All this philanthropy and all that, everyone thinks, oh, that's for the greater good. No. If you look at the members of these philanthropy organisations, they're only for the rich and the elite. So they get to say what happens. It's only the people with the money that get to say what happens. You think you walk around this place with your suit on, ordering 20 people around in the office, you think you got some power. You ain't got nothing, mate. Because you're going to be the first that these people get rid of. And that's the way it's happened all over the planet for decades, centuries maybe. Probably thousands of years. Under tyrannical governments, the first thing they get rid of is the police, the army, and everyone else that can challenge them. Because then that means they have total and dictatorial power over everything. And this is what is happening now. People don't seem to think that this is happening, but it is. Doesn't matter how you look at it, how you want to put all roses and petals all over it, it's not going to work. Because all that does is just cover up what is coming. People sweep things under the carpet too much. They don't want to address the issue. They just want to go, oh, it doesn't really exist. You're just a conspiracy theorist. Because they haven't got the brain capacity to talk about what you are bringing up. And that is a fact. Any alternative view about anything today always seems to be turned around against you as if you're a terrorist or something. I mean, come on. People only have a voice and they don't exercise it enough. You are power. You are the electorate. You are the embodiment of government because you are the ones that put them there. Don't forget that. We are the government because we govern who we want in. But if we get lied to and pushed down the wrong path and then told this is what we believe, this is what they believe, oh, they don't want this and we want that, then however they give it to you in their little packages on TV, and they're very good at it because they've been doing it for years and know exactly what to put there, know exactly what images to use to get you to vote for them. You see, people, I talk about my manipulation to people and people don't even know what I'm talking about. People don't even think it's real. Well, of course it's real. You're manipulated every day of the week. Don't think you're not, because you are. Everything you do, every single decision you make has been given to you subliminally by someone else. I say this to people, right, and they just think you're mad. Right, fine. Think I'm mad. Do I look mad? What is mad? You know, no one can tell me what the definition of mad is, although in the dictionary it just says, you know, just someone has lost their mind or something. I don't know. I haven't lost my mind. I'm firing on all cylinders, and they're firing good. You know, I'm oiled. I know what I'm talking about. I know what this is. And a lot of you do out there too. You do. In your gut. Because we all know, down in our hearts, deep down in our hearts somewhere, that there is patriotism there somewhere. That you could find it in your heart to stand up and say, I ain't taking this anymore. All that takes is courage. Courage to do something. Because if you don't have that courage and you don't challenge these people and hold them to account, they'll just carry on doing what they've been doing for years. And it's only now started coming out that people are starting to realise that this is happening. And they're going, oh, when did this start? Because they're newcomers, right? I'm not saying that they're wrong for not knowing. I'm just saying, how did they not know? Because there's so much information out there for people to learn about all this stuff. How do people not know this? And I can tell you how. Facebook is one of the most evilest things, I think, on the internet. I'm sorry, Facebook is. It's just a collectivized system where they get you involved in this virtual world. And it takes hours if you're involved in this thing. And all them hours that are taken up on the computer are all the hours that the politicians have schemed without you noticing. So when they come and take your house and you ask them, why are you taking my house? Then you know that there's something wrong. You've missed out. You haven't listened. That's fine. Because if you have to learn the hard way about what's going on, then unfortunately some people are going to have to learn that way. Because a lot of people out there ain't listening. And the reason I think we are around, like we as the truth movement, as the truthers of this internet, I suppose, society, which is the only way we can get this information out. The reason is because if we don't tell you this and we don't try to warn everyone, like, I mean, Alex Jones, I mean, he is by far the most informed radio host, just says it how it is, that I've ever met or have ever heard. Not one single radio host on the mainstream news or the mainstream channels would ever report what Alex Jones does. And there's a reason for that, and I'm sure you all know. But I'll tell the people that don't. The reason is that if they told you what they were really doing, do you think that they would be able to get away with that? Do you think they'd be able, you would sit there and say, oh, did you hear that? The banks are stealing our money. That's all right, isn't it? They can do what they want. They're the banks. What? What are you talking about? If you knew that, there'd be revolution. There will be a revolution, a global revolution. And you know, the 1% of the people that control the world, you'd be able to squash them like an ant. You would, because there's only 1%, 99% of you are the people that they control. If you broke free from the shackles of control, you could squash them like an ant tomorrow. You seriously could. there'll be nothing to stop it. Because 99% of the public are in the army, are in the police force. You know, 99% is made up of all of them people. But then the 1% that control it are here, and we're all down here, including the army and the police and the lawyers and the judges. Because at the end of it, we are all still servants of this control system. Doesn't matter who it is. The compartmentalised system has got so complex now that you probably would have a hard job to find out down the line where it all went. But you can do it. It takes a long time. And man, I've got folders and folders and folders and folders and more folders of information that I've got off the internet, or library, or archive libraries, or stuff like that. I mean, when you want to research this, you have to research it. You can't just do it for 2 minutes and say, I know it all. You have to study it, because it's important. If you want to beat these people, you have to be on the same level of intellect, which is not very high when you think about it. But the intellect is very simple. It's just control and conquer. Control everyone and perpetual war. That's what it is. But once you break free from the shackle of tyranny, which we're under now, it's clearly evident. Once you break free from that, enlightenment, you know, in your brain just explodes, because everything that you thought might have been dodgy, you know, all them years ago, you've always thought, something's not right. Something's not right about that. Have you ever thought that? Because I'm sure you have. About anything. Well, I can tell you, start to think this now. Something ain't right. Something's going on. It's about time you start focusing on the important issues and stop focusing on the unimportant issues. Because the unimportant issues are deliberately put there to get talking points and arguments and infighting. You know, no one thinks for themselves anymore because other people do it for you. So look, I'm just going to leave this with a Thomas Jefferson quote. And it says, "The tree of liberty shall be refreshed from time to time with blood of tyrants and patriots." That says it all, man. I'll leave you.